Good evening and welcome to your Thursday, May 30, 2024 edition of the Evening News. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for joining us. Let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. JAGDEO concerned about consequences for teachers if court ruling on strike overturned. GTU now wants to negotiate salary increases from 2022. Government working to strengthen internal audit capabilities, says Minister Singh. ECCLES Health Center now equipped with nicotine replacement therapy. Section of KURUPUKARI LETHEM trail collapses, emergency teams mobilized, and Guyana blasts blatant disregard for rule of law over Israeli strikes in Gaza. Now for the news in detail. As the resumed strike action across the country continues, Vice President Dr. JAGDEO said he is worried about the consequences for teachers if the High Court decision that they be paid is eventually overturned in a higher court. Vanu Manichand reports.
Last month, High Court Judge Justice Sandil Kisoon ruled that the 5-week strike action in February by teachers across Guyana was legal and legitimate. Consequently, the court ruled, among other things, that government cannot cut the salaries of those teachers on strike. Last week, government appealed this decision. However, the industrial action led by the Guyana Teachers Union has resumed and is now in its third week. During a press conference on Thursday, Vice President Dr. JAGDEO highlighted his concerns about this, expressing confidence that this court decision will be overturned. JAGDEO lamented that teachers will have to face the consequences since their absent days are increasing, and this will not bode well for them when their salaries would eventually be deducted.
I'm worried about the teachers because if they keep striking and the number of days are growing, and we're going to get that decision reversed that was made in the court. You can't stand on an appeal. Any time that stands on an appeal at the CCJ, you have to shut down the country. You understand that? Because if it says you can now work and receive pay. You don't show up to work and your employers by law and in the Constitution would have to pay you. What will happen in a country? You just have to shut down. So it's as simple as that.
Government, through the Education Ministry, remains open to negotiations with the GTU, which is pushing for a backdated collective bargaining agreement. However, government has insisted that it would only consider an agreement from 2024 onwards, a position that JAGDEO reiterated on Thursday, adding that the PPPC administration has already spent over $90 billion in public sector salary increases since 2020.
In 3 areas: central government, the statutory bodies and public corporations have grown from about $120 billion in 2020 to $210 billion in these 3 categories. That's a massive growth. We said that the revenue flow in future years will be able, if sustained, and maybe through a sovereign wealth fund when invested, would be able to sustain higher levels of remuneration in the future. In the future, our revenue will grow maybe to $10 billion a year. We're under $2 billion now. So in the future, you'll be able to see more increases in wages and salaries.
Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manichand.
After insisting that it wants salary increase negotiations from the year 2019 onwards, the Guyana Teachers Union now says it wants to start from the year 2022 onwards. The government has insisted that it will only negotiate for 2024 and beyond, but according to GTU General Secretary Coretta MacDonald, the union is willing to compromise. Here's what she had to say.
GTU has made several offers to the Ministry of Education. We were prepared to look at 2022, 2023, 2021, 2, 3. They said no. We said, okay, we are prepared to look at 2022 and 2023 while you look at 2024 and 2025. So we have 2 years and you have your 2 years. They threw that offer out. We made another suggestion that they can offer us 20% interim payment while the conciliation process is ongoing. Before we begin that process, they threw that one out. We even said to them, well, let's do a percentage that could cover 2019, 2023, which would be a lump sum payment, and then we can move on to 2024. They threw that one out as well. So there are several options that we did present to the Ministry of Education.
In an attempt to foster better internal auditing and identify critical areas within the government, Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh has revealed that the administration is currently working to strengthen its internal audit capabilities. Michael Henry has more in this report.
Some ministries have an internal audit department, some don't. Some have a small one, some have none at all. And so we are ourselves in government considering how we can better deploy the internal audit capabilities in the Ministry of Finance across the whole of government.
Those were the remarks of Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh as he explained that Guyana's oil and gas industry is driving the need for more robust auditing systems to ensure continued compliance with internal regulations. He was at the time delivering remarks at a training seminar hosted by the Institute of Internal Auditors, Guyana Chapter Inc. at the Regency Suites Hotel, Georgetown on Thursday. According to Minister Singh, this system will help in bolstering oversight and accountability, and it aligns with the government's aim to ensure responsible management of public resources and maximize the value of Guyana's growing economy.
It is our intention to further roll out the internal audit function across the whole of government to ensure that we have comprehensive coverage and to ensure that we maximize on the tremendous value that can be added by internal audit in government. The Institute too needs also not only to speak to the internal auditors themselves, but to those who potentially can benefit from the internal audit function. Boards of directors and senior management, so that they too are apprised of the tremendous value that can be added, so that they too are better sensitized on how they can use this function to better manage their organizations in a more effective way.
Additionally, Minister Singh highlighted that information and communications technology serves as an important element in managing government resources and ensuring that they are expended effectively.
Information and communications technology is now a permanent fixture in our landscape. Throughout government, and I'm going to come back to government in a minute, throughout government and throughout the private sector, increasingly, companies are deploying ICT-based solutions in all aspects of their operations. The use of IT-based tools in the performance of your functions becomes important. And you will know better than I do that there is a vast array of IT-based solutions and tools that are available and in wide use that your profession needs to acquaint itself with.
Michael Henry, The Evening News.
Since assuming office in August 2020, the Guyana government has pumped over $13.8 billion into the development of residents in Region 1. This revelation was made by President Dr. Irfan Ali during a community meeting with residents of Warramori Village today. Trishelle Sobers has the details.
President Dr. Irfan Ali on Thursday continued his community outreach program, this time in Region 1. In one of the commitments, he revealed that a sum of $13.8 billion has been invested in a number of areas in the region since his government assumed office in August 2020. The sum of $5.5 billion was expended over the last 4 years on the construction and rehabilitation of public infrastructure. $4.1 billion was expended on the drilling of wells and housing in the region. $1.2 billion was invested through the Guyana Livestock Development Authority for the expansion of poultry production, and $1.8 billion in Because We Care cash grants for school-aged children. Additionally, $600 million in presidential grants were provided to indigenous villages, $500 million to support agriculture and the ramping up of food production, $107 million for the construction of recreational facilities, and $58 million in support of grants for children and adults living with disabilities. According to President Ali, the monies invested is part of a targeted and multifaceted approach geared at creating growth for those residing in the region.
We have made these investments because we care about you. We want you to have a better life. We want you to be successful. We believe in you. And as long as the People's Progressive Party Civic is in office, you will continue to see these investments in your community and your villages.
Meanwhile, Region 1 continues to make significant strides towards becoming a major center for food production. In this regard, the Guyana government plans to continue investing in agriculture, specifically high-value crops. This commitment was made by President Ali, who explained that the distribution of 10,000 coffee plants and 20,000 high-bearing Brazilian nuts will commence very soon.
Breadfruit production is an important regional commodity, and we are going to support you by having the market available. So we will come in and buy the breadfruit production. But these are long-term crops. We want to replant 5,000 breadfruit plants in Region 1 so you can become an important supplier of breadfruit for the country. We are going to move into these production because these are crops that have value on the regional market, easy to transport.
During Thursday's meeting in Waramuri village, the Guyanese leader also disclosed that the village will receive $10 million for the rehabilitation of its sports ground and another $10 million for the dredging of the Maruka River. Housing and Water Minister Colin Crowell has been tasked with spearheading both projects. Trishelle Subbers, Evening News.
The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions on Wednesday opened its new $65 million two-story facility in undernaming Region 2. Attorney General Anil Nandlal has hailed this development as a significant step in enhancing the administration of justice along the Essequibo coast. Let's find out more from Kelroy Williams.
An opening ceremony for the new $65 million Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions at undernaming on the Essequibo coast was held on Wednesday. Speaking at the opening ceremony, Attorney General and Legal Affairs Ministry Anil Nandlal highlighted the historic nature of this development. Nandlal spoke about the persistent human struggle for justice and freedom, acknowledging the inevitable conflicts with the law that arise despite societal advancements.
Because when you look at the history of man, from the beginning of time, it has been a struggle for justice and freedom.
In this regard, he highlighted the crucial role of the justice system in upholding the rule of law and maintaining a peaceful society.
It is the legal sector that maintains law and order in this society. And you can have all the facilities, and you can have the best projects in all the social sectors. But if the society is not governed by law and order, if there is no system that guarantees the people justice in accordance with law, then all the other sectors will mean very little. The functions of the DPP is to offer criminal advice to the investigative arm of the state and to carry out prosecutorial functions when it is decided that charges should be instituted for misconduct. And that's a process that is independent of the government.
Meanwhile, Nandlal emphasized that the government is committed to developing the legal landscape of Region 2, pointing to the construction of a new court at Charity and Anna Regina. For the evening news, Kelroy Williams.
The Ministry of Health's Chronic Disease Unit on Wednesday handed over a quantity of nicotine replacement therapy supplies to the ECCLES Health Center to support smoking cessation efforts. The ECCLES Health Center, located on the East Bank corridors, is the first facility to receive these supplies as part of the ministry's treatment program. Last year, in observance of World No Tobacco Day, a tobacco cessation clinic was launched at the Industry Health Center, East Coast Demerara, as a measure to help tobacco users quit smoking. This initiative was later rolled out at 9 other health facilities. These clinics are located at health centers in Craig, Grove, Buxton, Isla Penitence, Lodge, Festival City, Industry, and Moran Kitty. At the clinics, advice will be provided and personalized in a manner for every tobacco user to stop using tobacco and non-tobacco users to remain tobacco-free, while assisting and helping all tobacco users to stop based on their willingness. With ECCLES Health Center now being added to the collection, the nicotine replacement therapy will be a new addition to the tobacco cessation clinics, and it will see tobacco users gradually reducing their nicotine dependence, making it easier to quit smoking and improve overall health. The 9 other health centers are expected to have this addition within a month. Coming up, talk show host gets $200,000 bail after slapped with cybercrime offense, and baby dies in West Coast Berbice accident. Father, truck driver to be charged. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
What flavors does Oreo have around the world?
Oreo peanut butter.
Let me see. Oreo cajeta.
Here comes Oreo around the world, the promo that takes you on a family trip to taste the Oreo flavors available in Paris, New York, Mexico, or Rome. Register your packages at oreopromo.com.
Transitions Light Intelligent Lenses. Pick your color. Choose your style. Available at Optique Vision Care.
Your child needs nutrients every day. Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder.
This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk. Mental development depends on various factors such as stimulation and adequate nutrition. Commercial cow's milk does not contain DHA but contains calcium and other nutrients.
2 day and night facilities will be constructed in Regions 2 and 4 to provide a safe space for the children of working parents. Monies will also be spent to rehabilitate and improve the facilities at the Sophia Care Center and Mahaika Children's Home. This $287 million investment is part of the 2024 national budget, which is supported by revenues earned from oil production.
Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe. For bid, performance, retention, advanced mobilisation or customs bonds, bond with us. Fuel your success. Call 223-0840 or visit premierinsurance.gy. Premier Insurance. Premier Insurance coverage.
Your child needs nutrients every day. Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder.
This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk. Mental development depends on various factors such as stimulation and adequate nutrition. Commercial cow's milk does not contain DHA but contains calcium and other nutrients.
Need quality electrical or hardware supplies for domestic, commercial, and industrial usage? Visit SPR Enterprise. We stock a wide variety of tools, transformers, connectors, cables, line hardware, and control products at competitive prices. Check us out for brands such as Square D, Eaton, Fluke, Klein, and 3M. We are located at 45 Brick Dam, Georgetown, or call us on 223-5699, 223-5687, or WhatsApp 639-7193. SPR Enterprise, your single source for quality electrical products.
What flavors does Oreo have around the world?
Oreo peanut butter.
Let me see. Oreo cajeta.
Here comes Oreo around the world, the promo that takes you on a family trip to taste the Oreo flavors available in Paris, New York, Mexico, or Rome. Register your packages at oreopromo.com.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. 46-year-old Kikedi Amsterdam of Buxton, East Coast Demerara, appeared at the Georgetown Magistrates Court today, where he was charged with a cybercrime offense. Specifically, he was charged with using a computer system to encourage or incite persons to commit a criminal offense against the President of Guyana in contravention of Section 18(1)(c) of the Cybercrime Act. Amsterdam, a talk show host who was arrested by ranks of the Criminal Investigation Department on Tuesday, appeared before Her Worship Magistrate Faith Magusti. The charge was read to him and he pleaded not guilty. He was then placed on $200,000 bail and the matter was adjourned to June 10, 2024. Additional charges are slated to be filed against him. A smash-up between a car and a lorry on Wednesday afternoon at Britannia, West Coast Berbice Region 5 has resulted in the death of 18-month-old Daniel Myers. Myers was one of 4 persons in the car, which was being driven by his father, Carson Myers, who will be charged in relation to his son's death. Also in the vehicle at the time of the crash were the baby's mother, as well as his 3-year-old brother. They all received minor injuries, which were treated at the Fort Wellington Hospital. Reports are that the family of 4 was returning from Bushlot Village, West Coast Berbice, to their Belmont, Mahaika home when the accident occurred. According to the police, the accident occurred at about 13 hours 45 and involved the motor lorry GXX 1685 with trailer TAB 3229 attached and owned by John Fernandes Limited, being driven at the time by a 39-year-old of Buxton, East Coast Demerara. The car, PAG 5148, was proceeding at a fast rate, and while negotiating a right turn, he allegedly lost control and ended up in the path of the truck. As a result, the right side of the car collided with the right side of the trailer. They were taken to Fort Wellington Hospital, where the baby was pronounced dead on arrival. Meanwhile, breathalyzer tests were conducted on both drivers, which revealed that the lorry driver had 5 micrograms and the car driver had 4 micrograms respectively, both below the prescribed limit of 38 micrograms. The incident occurred as Carson Myers was celebrating his birthday. Meanwhile, notices of intended prosecution have been served on both drivers, according to a statement from the police force. We now tell you that the Ministry of Public Works has activated emergency teams for the restoration of the Linden-Lethem corridor following a collapse of a section of that road yesterday. Find out more in this Michael Henry report.
There was significant disruption along the KURUPUKARI-LETHEM corridor on Wednesday afternoon when a truck traversing the KURUPUKARI-LETHEM corridor attempted to cross an eroded section of the roadway within the Iwokrama concession. This section of the road subsequently collapsed due to sustained pressure from a storm surge caused by heavy rains. The contractor responsible for the maintenance of the area, KP Thomas, was not on site at the time. Engineers attached to the Ministry of Public Works have since alerted all contractors to monitor areas where they have active work sites. Meanwhile, presently, this section has completely washed away, rendering it impassable. This will affect all traffic traversing between Georgetown and Anai, LETHEM. Additionally, there is a warning advisory in effect for traffic crossing the Pirara Bridge via the Timber Bypass. As of Wednesday afternoon, the water level has risen significantly, covering the approach road and bridge. Light traffic is requested to exercise extreme caution if attempting to cross the bypass. In light of the situation, emergency teams have been mobilized and efforts are underway to assess and repair the damage. According to a statement from the ministry, stakeholders are asked to stay tuned to official channels for further updates on road conditions and repair progress. Moreover, drivers traversing the corridor were encouraged to exercise caution, keeping an eye out for changes in road conditions to ensure the safety of themselves and others. The ministry is also requesting that all commercial vehicles significantly reduce their load at this time. Michelle Henry, The Evening News.
As the onslaught continues in Gaza, Guyana has reiterated its strong condemnation of Israel's actions following last weekend's airstrikes that killed over 40 Palestinians who were seeking refuge in a camp in Rafah. Vanu Manichand reports.
On Sunday, airstrikes from the Israeli forces struck Tel al-Sultan in western Rafah, setting fire to a displacement camp where some 45 Palestinians seeking refuge were killed and over 200 injured. The incident had sparked widespread condemnation globally. At a United Nations Security Council meeting on Wednesday, Guyana's permanent representative to the United Nations Ambassador Caroline Rodriguez joined in denouncing the actions of the Israeli government. She also sounded calls for an international probe into the incident.
It had seemed that the Gaza crisis could not get any worse until we learned of last Sunday's events in Tel al-Sultan in Rafah, where displaced Palestinians sheltering in tents were set on fire after Israeli airstrikes. People were injured and burned alive. And all of this in a designated safe zone. A chilling reminder that there is no safe place in Gaza. Guyana calls for a swift, independent, and international investigation to establish the facts surrounding this incident, including to identify the perpetrators. This council must not continue to accept the all too familiar explanations of these incidents being mistakes or miscalculations.
According to Ambassador Rodriguez, there is no justification for the killing of innocent civilians, as she pointed to Israel's continued disregard of international rule of law.
The ICJ has issued 3 sets of provisional measures, but there is no compliance. Indeed, 2 days had not yet passed following the last order by the court for Israel to halt military operations in Rafah, when the attack in Tel al-Sultan took place. This council must seriously consider how to address this blatant disregard for the rule of law.
The UN representative went on to reiterate Guyana's long-standing call for a ceasefire in Gaza, for the allowance of humanitarian aids into Gaza, and for a two-state solution. However, even as international outcry continues against Israel's onslaught in Gaza, international media reported another airstrike on Thursday morning that killed 12 more Palestinians. Since the October 7, 2023 attacks, more than 36,000 Palestinians have been killed and over 80,000 injured, many of the victims being women and children. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manakchand.
The importance of small island developing states leveraging data and technology to mitigate against challenges raised by climate change, including natural disasters, was on Tuesday emphasized by Public Works Minister Juan Edgell during his attendance at the SIDS 4 conference. Gerald Bryan has the details.
Prime Minister retired Brigadier Mark Phillips is presently leading a Guyanese contingent over in Antigua and Barbuda for the 4th International Conference on Small Island Developing States, SIDS 4. On Tuesday, Public Works Minister Juan Edgell, who is part of that delegation, took part in a panel discussion on leveraging data and analytics to mitigate against natural disasters. According to the minister, Guyana and other states can develop targeted interventions to mitigate against disasters by harnessing the power of technology and innovation. Edgell gave Guyana as an example, noting the vulnerability of the coast to flooding. He noted that Guyana's infrastructure, especially those that are decades old, have become overwhelmed by these floods. According to him, many states face similar challenges. Edgell also made the point that states must engage stakeholders at all levels, ranging from vulnerable communities to indigenous groups, to ensure their needs are met. Additionally, he noted that institutions responsible for infrastructure development must incorporate state-of-the-art technologies to do their work. This conference brings together leaders to agree on a new program of action for small island developing states with a focus on practical and impactful solutions and to forge new partnerships and cooperation at all levels. Meanwhile, Guyana was also represented by Minister of Natural Resources Vikram Bharat at the conference. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
Over 30 households in the area considered as New Forest, East Kanji, on Saturday received the water tanks from the government. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael reports that the distribution fulfilled the promise made 3 months prior.
Water tanks were on Saturday distributed to over 30 households in New Forest, Region 6. This marks the fulfillment of a promise by the government to deliver free 45-gallon water tanks to residents. While many refer to the entire community as New Forest, there are in fact 8 villages within the area stretching for miles from Speculation to the Vesta. The community, which is situated 10 miles out of New Amsterdam, is home to some 25 families. One of the major concerns of this mixed community is the lack of potable water. Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh, who has ministerial responsibilities for Region 6, met with those residents back in February at Adelphi, where the issue of the lack of potable water was raised. According to the residents, there was once a well that supplied water to the community, but that well ceased operation more than 2 decades ago. They would normally get drinking water from the Kanji River, but this became very difficult during the long dry spell as salt water was reaching that section of the river. Some persons will go to Adelphi village, which is about 4 miles away, to collect drinking water. Some residents told this newscast that they were forced to use trench water to cook at times. The minister, during the February meeting, made the commitment of supplying water tanks to them and to have the Guyana Water Inc. take water to the community twice weekly.
They did not have enough storage, so that is why the resident appealed to the government for a little help to store water. So the government come and play there by facilitating them with a black tank. And how now is the rainy weather, they would catch rainwater in the tank. So it would benefit the resident of New Forest a great lot.
It's a bit of improvement from the water system in this area, because normally we collect water from the truck, but with a black tank it would be most helpful.
I feel thankful. I feel much great that I receive a tank from the government of Guyana, and this tank will be benefit me a great lot, because I was planning to purchase a tank, but due to finance. So I'm much grateful that the government of Guyana could issue a tank to the residents, New Forest and Speculation.
They help out me a lot, and very thankful for it. At least we had no tank, no water, nothing, then now we get the tank and get the water.
It benefit to me and my family with the water. And they get, most is very far water in the station.
Andrew Carmichael, the evening news.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Friday, May 31st, 2024 at 23 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed at 10 hours 50 on Friday, May 31st, 2024, also for 1.5 hours.
Ninval focused on advancing boxing after miss at Olympic qualifiers, and DDL kicking with ExxonMobil U14 for another year. Details of these stories and more coming up in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp.
What flavors does Oreo have around the world?
Oreo peanut butter.
Let me see. Oreo cajeta.
Here comes Oreo around the world, the promo that takes you on a family trip to taste the Oreo flavors available in Paris, New York, Mexico, or Rome. Register your packages at oreopromo.com.
Dad! Dad! Is that real? आप लोगों को नजर आ रहे हैं?
Well hit. Away it goes. That is a ridiculous. Look at
this. Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Your child needs nutrients every day. Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder.
This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk. Mental development depends on various factors such as stimulation and adequate nutrition. Commercial cow's milk does not contain DHA but contains calcium and other nutrients.
Crispy, creamy, what a catch. So tasty. What a catch. With a caramel center. What a catch. And so much chocolate. Ooh, yeah. First it's crispy, then it's creamy. With so much chocolate, smooth and milky. And when you go a little deeper, you find caramel. Ooh, yeah. Oh, what a catch. You know we love you. What a catch. Oh. First it's crispy, then it's creamy. What a catch.
Entrepreneurs, coconut byproducts are in high demand. How can you cater to that demand? By investing in a coconut shredder from Sylvie's. Guaranteed to increase your output, this 110-volt stainless steel machine shreds coconut in seconds, allowing you to also save on labor and time. From the shreds, you can create coconut powder, oil, milk, etc. Order yours now at sylviesonline.com or at our 31 High and Hatfield Street store.
Did you know that when you leave your property unoccupied and unmanaged, it deteriorates much faster than you can imagine? Then before you know it, much of your hard-earned investment is wasted. At Hand in Hand Trust Corporation, property management is our business. Whether you travel for long periods, live overseas, or have several properties that require managing, let us at Hand in Hand Trust Corporation take care of this for you. Your property is safe with us. Hand in Hand Trust Corporation Incorporated, a member of the Hand in Hand group of companies.
In today's tough driving conditions, every engine faces three powerful enemies: engine heat, pollutants, and frequent short trips. Each factor is a direct cause of engine sludge, a buildup of dirt that can block vital oilways. This triple threat demands triple protection. Castrol GTX's Triple Protect Power is engineered to fight these three main causes of engine sludge.
What flavors does Oreo have around the world?
Oreo peanut butter.
Let me see. Oreo cajeta.
Here comes Oreo around the world, the promo that takes you on a family trip to taste the Oreo flavors available in Paris, New York, Mexico, or Rome. Register your